So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this tech talk. We are working on the camera, which is a bit not 100% focused on the right thing, I think. But anyway, yeah, this is much better now. So perfect. It took a while. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tech Talk. Today we're talking about cybersecurity best practices, part one. Part one means that we will also have other parts in future, and we will talk about this in a bit. So my name is Carsten Getting, and together with me I have Tobias. Tobias, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Tobias is our technical specialist for security and will guide us through the topic today. And I think we start with the agenda. What do we have on the plate for today? And we start with the zero trust concept. We will explain it. We will dive into it. Device insight is definitely a focus area for today. What you can do, what is included in the future, what scenarios are very likely to do. We have the live demo, then we dive into advanced configurations, and our two categories we have solution window and feedback. I can invite you to ask any questions. I'm just checking here. There was one question saying that our microphone, there is an echo somehow. So the voice quality needs to be improved. Just a moment. We are working on it before we start then, Tobias.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell us if the voice quality is better now. We have changed something, I think. Just waiting for a comment here if it's better now. There's still an echo. It's a bit better, yeah, but I cannot hear you now. Okay. Now I think it's correct, isn't it?
Okay.
Yes, so now it's much better and the echo is gone. Sorry for that. And thanks for the feedback. It's always very welcome. So that works fine. And you see, we have your questions here. If you have any questions during the talk, please have them. Tobias, we introduced the agenda. Let's jump into the topic.
Yes. Yeah, cybersecurity in 2021. We are talking a lot about zero trust as a key concept here. We just recently have the Log4j issue last week, which was pretty popular in the press. And what is zero trust? So first of all, it starts with visibility. So you need to know what is in your network, what can you see, what can you find, what is connected to your network. You need to see that somewhere. And the second point would be the control. So how you can configure something to take the needs out of that. And the last one is the reaction. So if something is in the network, which is not as it should be, then you need to react to this topic. You need to, for example, block it, you need to remove it, something in this direction. And Zero Trust will help you, and our today feature Device Insight will even show you all the 3 points, how you can see it and configure it. And why Zero Trust is important for your network. It have plenty of reasons. Some of them here is that more and more people bring their own device. And this could be, for example, some repeater in the network, or it could be also some smartwatch and whatever, yeah. And everything needs internet and everything will connect to your network. And you must make sure that it works in your network or that you trust it, or if you didn't trust it, you need to block such devices. And we also have growing malware risks. We have ransomware, we have the Log4j, we have whatever. Every time, every 2 weeks, something new is coming up. And to protect yourself, you need to increase the security of your device always.
I think we are quite flexible in the companies that we are working with. So we have a couple of companies that we are consulting to ensure that security is always up to date.
Yes.
You will show us that in a moment, I guess.
Yes. So We have here a few top vendor Zyxel is working with, and today our focus will be on the Fingerbank. So Fingerbank's vendor is integrated to use the device insight feature. But we have a lot more. We have a Siren, for example, for content filtering. We have MaxMind for geo IP feature. We have Bitdefender, McAfee, and Norton, who are currently protecting us for the Log4j issue. So we have a lot of different partners we are working with and integrate them all into Zyxel firewalls, into USG Flex, into ATP series. And we are combining these with our own features to make a powerful security device. And here we see, here we see some network topology, how it could be. So in previously years, maybe we just have a headquarter with a firewall. And we have a firewall here. We have some internet devices. This could be an access point. This could be a switch. And usually that was it some years ago. But now we need to connect much more traffic. We have maybe a second side with a VPN tunnel. We have home office locations we need to connect. We may have home offices we want to connect by an access point, which is also using a VPN on the access point, which we are calling secure Wi-Fi. We may have the Nebula control center, which brings the things into the cloud. We have centralized IPsec VPN clients, so you can control what or which VPN configuration you are roll out to which clients, to which email addresses. And we have software as a service like Office 365, which is also part of your network. And all this together, we are calling as a zero trust concept. So you need to secure every site you are bringing in your network, and you have different options to do that. And today, we are looking into the zero trust concept for known work environment. That means, for example, your company already knows that you are just having smartphones from Apple. Then you can block automatically all Android smartphones. That could be one use case. Or you know which computer hardware, which IP cams, whatever you are using. So you are deciding about the device type and not about the IP address.
And I think you will show later again what kind of types are there, what kind of configuration I can do, correct?
Yeah, we have a lot of types we can support, and we also have a live demo later, which will show this information. So the first step here is the visibility. That means the firewall needs to help you to make visible what is in your network, what is connected, and what is it in the end. You have right now the DHCP table, which at least brings you this information for DHCP clients, but there's a lot of more possibilities here. And your network can include a lot. It can include computers, webcams, printer, whatever. And the firewall is collecting this information and make it visible. And how is it doing? It is creating a fingerprint of your device. So it's collecting a few information like a MAC address, for example, and is syncing this information with the Fingerbank database and create you a related entry in your device. So what can you do, for example, or what is role-based here? Role-based first means we are not going to use IP addresses here. You can combine this. You can also create objects with IP addresses and put role-based as a second verification, for example, but you can also use it as a single feature. And in this topology here, for example, we have made a few detection. We have found we have computers with macOS, computers with Windows, iOS phones, Linux printer. So first now we are aware, okay, what's connected on my access point, what's connected on my switch network. And that is how it's looking into the firewall GUI. So we are seeing here we have a MAC address available, IP address of the device name or description, the category information. We are syncing with the database. So now here we see the WAC is a wireless access point and the VPN 100 is a firewall. We have the exact model. So all information we could grab, for example, from DHCP, from HTTP, also from LDAP, from packet traces, from NAT entries. So all traffic which goes through the ATP or the UG flags, we are grabbing this information, we are collecting it, we are syncing it, we are verifying it, and then we are displaying it to you. Mm-hmm. And you can then create much of different use cases. One use case, for example, here is that this company have macOS systems and Windows systems, but only Windows systems should be allowed to connect to the NAS stations and not the macOS systems. So you create a few firewall rules that you are saying the device type Windows computer is allowed for NAS, and the device type macOS computer is not allowed, or you just go for the operating system and even not for computer.
Talking about the operating system, is it also possible to distinguish between Windows 7, Windows 10?
Yeah, so this feature is not yet implemented. We have started with Device Insight phase 1 in 5.10 firmware. We are going to update this feature in 5.20 in January with a few usability enhancements that you can report feedback straightforward from the web interface and no need to contact support, and you have a better list view here. Okay. And in further firmware versions 5.40, 50, we will enhance it with related, more deeper insights, drill into the operating systems, and you can more fine-tune the configurations then.
Very good.
The current available categories and operating systems as the screenshot here. We have computer, we have smart TV, printer, switch, router. So usual devices in the network. We have the most operating systems available here. And even if that is not on the list, it will categorize as others. So at least it's visible, and based on description or device information we can grab, we see at least what could it be and should it be allowed or not. And yeah, we will also have a feature request already for custom categories that the customer self can create his categories. Right. So we will see how this feature develops.
These categories could enlarge all the time.
Of course.
Of course, right. Good.
Yeah, and for our live demo today, we are having the topology here. So we're having the Aidp 800 firewall device. We're doing the configuration. We have a Wi-Fi client in VLAN 2, which is part of the access point, which is managed on the Aidp 800. And we have a server in the LAN zone where we send out a ping 2. And we will see if we can block the server, if we can block both clients. So let's see this in the live lab, I would say.
Yes, and let's mention that the ATP that we're using is also accessible for you if you want. We have a virtual lab. If you go to support.zyxel.eu, then you find there a demo zone, and if you click on it, you find the VLab or the virtual lab. And there we have a number of devices that you can connect to. There's a username and password available. It looks like, as you see on the screen now, this is the Aidp 800. So if you want to check what we have done later after the session, you can always do that, but you can also find more and different devices on this virtual lab environment.
Exactly. All right, then I'm logging in now to the Aidp 800, and we are going to check the feature. So you find the feature first under configuration, and from here we have object and device insight. And the first thing you need to do is to enable this feature. If you enable device insight, the device will start collecting all the information. You can configure different profiles and you can link these profiles. So for today's TECHtalk session, we will adding a profile to do some demo here. So let me name it TECHtalk. And I want to have a device match on computer with Windows operating system. So this is my TeamViewer notebook. which is matching this kind of criteria. And I will apply this now, and now I see here I have no reference, which means this is not linked. So I'm going to the secure policy now in policy control. And I have a lot of firewall rules here, so I will first do some filtering from my Wi-Fi clients to my server. And now I can create the new firewall rule. So I will click the add button. I will name it TECHtalk demo. And I now select the zone of my Wi-Fi client, which is VLAN 2 includes, to my LAN subnet, which includes the server. And under device, which is the new one we have added in 5.10, I can now select my TECHtalk profile. And first I keep it to allow to show you the difference later. So I save it now. Now my firewall says Wi-Fi VLAN 2 to LAN, which includes the GE4 from the topology. The device TECHtalk, computer and Windows should be allowed. So let's move to the TeamViewer session. And we can see on the left side, we are pinging to the server or in the server subnet. And on the right side, we are pinging to the internet. Both is working correctly right now. Let's move back to the ATP and change the firewall rule to deny. And let's see what happened on the TeamViewer session. So you see on the right side, the ping to the internet is continue. And on the left side, the ping to the server is stopping now. So we are rejecting the traffic. Now we can confirm the firewall rule is working. We are blocking my Windows client, which should not have an access to the server because it's Windows computer operating system in this example. What we can do now, we can allow this back. And checking back the remote session, and we are seeing the ping will come back immediately, and it's continue allow. The second feature of Device Insight is not just the configuration part, it's also the monitoring part. So if we go to Monitor, Network Status Device Insight, we can see a lot of information here. I will sort this now on status, so I see my online clients here. And I can see here's my notebook with the TeamViewer session. It's in VLAN 2. It's detected correctly as computer and Windows. But let's say I say, oh, I don't know this client. I don't want to have this client in my VLAN. That is something which is not allowed, so I want to block it directly. So I can click the button Add to Block List here. And this will bring the client into a red block status. Which means now it's no firewall rule, no zone, nothing in, so the client will completely block. So let's move to the TeamViewer session here. And you can see the ping is stopping, the ping to internet also, and also the TeamViewer session is stopped. And our camera seems also stopped. Let's see. Now we can see in a few seconds that the TeamViewer session is disconnecting, which means you see now the connection has been lost and the complete traffic is gone. So let's now remove this client from the block list. So this client could be an allow client again and change back to the TeamViewer session. And you will see that the TeamViewer session is recovering now. And you see there's some ping lost here during the block time, but now all the traffic is continue. We are also working on recovering the picture for you. So first you need to listen with the sound and following the live demo. We can see a lot of information on the Device Insight tab here. We see the statuses here, which means online. So the device currently have a traffic and is also able to work with the firewall. We have the offline clients, which means this device didn't have traffic in the past 10 minutes. So we are changing the status from online to offline. And we have the block icon. And you can also see the connected to line here, which means my notebook is connected to the WAC 6503. So you can also have a reference. This client is connected to which access point. So if you have a hotel or a student living room, we can say, okay, this client is connected in the following AP. This AP position is room number 250, for example. And this is not a low client, or this is a connected repeater in this room. So you can go to this room, you can ask them to unplug the repeater because it's not a low, or we have overlapping on the channels, something in this direction. So we have different use cases, not just from configuration point of view and blocking a client, also from visibility and deeper insights into our network.
How to find and define the environment. Yes,
exactly.
We have a question here. So if I have an ATP and if I have a layer switch, layer 3 switch after the ATP switch, will device inside still work? And will it only work with Zyxel devices, or is it cross-functional?
It will, of course, not work in this use case because the traffic never reached the ATP.
Correct.
So it could only work if the gateway is the ATP, if the traffic goes back to the ATP. If we have switch-to-switch traffic or VLAN under VLAN, in this moment, this feature could not work. Then we have other features which could maybe work, which is calling CDR. We will talk about this feature in February. TECHtalk, because CDR is running on an access point. So if your switch have an access point connected, maybe the access point can help to isolate this client or block this client. But for switching itself, currently there is no any such feature available. Maybe in the future. We have it for access point, we have it now for firewall. So I think switch will be the next topic where we can see what we can do here.
So currently the traffic still has to be routed to the ATP or to the firewall, otherwise it doesn't work.
Correctly.
Yes.
And it's not just working with Zyxel devices, it's working with all devices. It also detects all computer. It will also classify other vendor access points into wireless access point. And in case of there's a wrong sorting, there will be also a feedback button available. So this wrong mapping can be reported and will be fixed by our signature that your other vendor product could also support in device insight.
And that feedback button and the enhancement we will see already in January, correct?
Exactly. The feedback button is integrated in 5.20. Then you select a device like the first row, and this position here, there will be a feedback button, and you find a drop down where you can change the category and report this to us.
Perfect. So if you have any other questions, I'm always trying to answer the questions here and giving them over to Tobias if you're always invited to do that. Right. Let's jump back to the presentation, I think. There were two more screenshots you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, so I talked during the live demo already about the Aidp linking feature. So you can find out on which access point or device, if it supports LLDP, it is connected, and it will find every next hop device which could support LLDP standard. To find more insight on this, I jump back to the live demo. So we see now here that my notebook is connected to the access point. So I can go and click to the access point and I see, okay, my access point is managed by the firewall. And now I want to know, okay, where is this access point connected to? So I can go to more information tab and scroll down a bit and I find the Ethernet neighbor and I know, oh, it's on the XGS 9030. Now I can go to the XGS 9030 by hyperlink to this IP and I can check the MAC table or the next hop to find the core switch and potential more ways here. And second option is to enable under System SON the Smart Connect feature. And this will allow you under Monitor Ethernet Neighbor to see even more devices which have LLDP enabled. So in best case, the whole network or all of your devices could support LLDP. And this brings you to a full topology and you can find any device which is unsecure connected or should not be in the network, and find where is also this device located and placed.
Mm-hmm. We have the question, the device inside is supported by which devices, and which devices are not supported. For example, the customer here asking explicitly for the USG 110 to 110. Is that something that goes together, or is it only the USG flags?
So the device inside is a feature of the 5.x trunk, and the USG is phased out in the 4.x trunk, which means we are still applying a few features on 4.70, for example, but device inside is 5.x only feature. That means USG Flex and ATP series will have this feature, and also without any license costs. So it's a free feature which is included.
That's very important to mention. Yes, absolutely. And what would you suggest if I have a USG 110 or 210? What is the USG Flex? Is it USG Flex 500, or which one would you recommend?
So in case of you have USG 110, you can go to USG Flex 200. This is enough. We also have a configuration converter. If you move from on-premise to on-premise, then you can easily convert it. And also if you go for USG Flex, at least for German market, I know we have a trade-in currently running and you get some discount. Otherwise, ask your local sales department which marketing features are running here for now. But it's doable with a convert, and then you can use it immediately.
So to make sure that you're always up to date, and also to make sure that your security level is on the highest standard, you should eventually at some point in time change the USG 110 to 110 to the USG Flex device.
So we have USG 110 is now 8 to 10 years on the market since the first release. This is a very long time for a security device. And it's have also reached his hardware capacity. So for example, our January release is 5.20. We're adding more and more VPN encryptions, SHA-3 support, for example. This needs so much hardware power that USG series is here on limit. So these security enhancements on this time will then only go to the current devices.
Good, thanks for that clarification.
Okay, and we see a few different statuses here. I was already explaining. The last one is missing the CDR block, which means that also some UTM package or gold package features can be worked together with device inside. But this is a quite bigger topic, and it needs also focus on the CDR feature. But in the end, you can reach that a client which should not be on the network or who is doing some spam on the network could be automatically blocked by device inside and isolate. And how this is looking, we will continue the same lab in February next year with you to show you what you can also do with device inside in advance.
Correct. So in total, just for information, we are trying to have 5 different cybersecurity sessions next year, every second month, and the next one will be in February, and the one and what I'll be concentrating on is the CDR activities and possibilities, as well as the new release. As already mentioned, we will introduce that during that session. Right, so all questions answered so far. Let's jump into our solution window. Today we want to show you a bit on how diagnostics and analysis works on the Zyxel firewall, and for that we have created a great knowledge base article, which Tobias will highlight a bit and maybe also show a bit on the device itself again.
Yeah. So we're always getting questions and support that people want to see more details. What is ongoing on a firewall? How is the traffic working? And so on. And for this, we have created this one overview article, which includes a lot of sub-article, how you can manage your device more detailed. So let me go through the points. The first point is access ways. We have SSH, yes, which is pretty simple to get, but we also have a console access. And with console access, for example, you can set up the diagnose level 8. And with this level, you will see much deeper information. You also can do left and right a bit more things, or you can let a syslog server running on real time. So different of these possibilities are possible and are described in the first article. The second one is packet capture and packet flow. And many of you may never was on the packet flow page, but I can demo this for you. It's under maintenance, packet flow explorer. And this will show the traffic from incoming to outgoing through which module it go and which routing it is using. And this is quite helpful if you have any traffic issues to debug, or you can easily find if you have a subnet overlapping, if you have configured your subnet too big and it may have the same gateway or whatever, and your traffic is not working as expected or not going out through the right WAN interface, then this packet flow explorer can help you exactly to identify the issue and fix the related interface. Another one is the diagnostic file, which is the most standard one. I think a lot of you know. You can simply collect a diagnostic file, send it to our support team, and we will check the reason for your issue. Management port changes is also happen frequently. The standard default port is 443, but for security reasons, you should change it to a more secure port, or at least to another port. And sometimes you may forgot to modify the firewall rule first and you block yourself. Then you still have backup ways through SSH and console to re-enable the old port or disable the firewall temporarily to log in back to the system, revert your change and fix it correctly, instead of completely reset the firewall and have hours of continued installation time. Login denied messages may happen if you forgot your password or you try to log in from a not allow IP. Then your user is temporarily blocked for time being. And if you need to very critical log into your device, you can unlock this by SSH or console with the admin password if you find it later, or call with a colleague who have it, and remove yourself from the logout user list. HTTPS web server restarts could happen in captive portal scenarios, hotels, schools, for example. If you need to keep the traffic running, but maybe the web portal page is not loading or the web server is busy, then you have the possibility to just restart this process. And the last one, crash logging procedure. In case of there is some, let's say, high CPU usage or high memory usage, to find out why the device or why the watchdog is rebooting the device, which process you may deactivate, like content filter, for example. You can configure this also. So this gives you a lot of deeper insight of ways which you can try to find the issue by yourself, or if you are just interested in how the firewall is operating.
Very practical question, Tobias. How do I get a console cable?
Yeah, you get a console cable if you buy a console cable. So far, we have the RS232 cable with USB, which is compatible on the device. I think
quite standard.
It's on stock by Amazon, for sure. It's standard cable. The credentials which you need to get the console connections in the article. So usually you just connect the console cable by USB into your computer and to the firewall, and then you can use the console way.
Exactly. If there are more questions to that, let us know. Once again, we have this article you can find on support.zyxel.eu. There we have our knowledge base, and there you can find it. We have a very interesting question here, Tobias, that SSL, I have to read it out a bit or explain the question a bit. It's a bit long question. SSL inspection is deactivated. And then does it make sense to change, to upgrade basically to a Flex or ATP device, taking in consideration that more and more traffic is going via SSL encryption?
Yes, it makes sense because you not need always SSL inspection, or if you have this feature self-deactivated, it's still the system, the firewall, still combine parts of SSL inspection with UTM features. For example, content filter and antivirus is using SSL inspection. And also, if you have disabled it, it uses parts of SSL inspection to do this on HTTPS. In 5.20 next year, we also have DNS over HTTPS. So we are implementing more and more security features. So it makes absolute sense to be up to date with the technology.
Yes, so if you have more questions to that, then let us know and we can definitely discuss it also in a support situation. Again, our screen, sorry for that, went black. We are facing a bit of a challenge with the camera we have here. Nevertheless, we are still here and we will be visible in a moment again. So we always invite you to give feedback. And last time we had Eric that was asking for how to migrate a firewall into Nebula. And most important there is what features are supported, which features are not supported. Yes, which is an absolutely very important question. So Tobias, I know we have a solution to that. How does it work?
Exactly. So right now we already have available a list of features we can support. And with 5.20 release in January, we will display in datasheet a list of features we could not support. For example, this is a device H8 right now under Nebula. But this list is not that long. And if you not find the feature, then it may have another name in Nebula, or we can configure it on a different way. So the chance is very high that you can move from on-premise to Nebula if you like. Also, 5.20 makes this migration a bit easier. At least we will have in web interface a QR code, so you can register the device quicker and with less installation effort. The only thing which we keep is the configuration needs to be redo because it's working different. We are moving away from object-based design to drag and drop and easy installation in Nebula. So this is a new kind of configuration way in the backend. But it's doable and it should not have that much limit in Nebula phase 13 together with 5.20.
We are adding more and more features that we need to mention.
Exactly.
Next phase will come out also in January. So all that is coming. So very good. And we invite you always to give feedback. The email address is academy@zyxel.eu. If you have something like feedback for the session today or something that you would like to discuss in this forum, then please let us know. And talking about the next episode, we have our next episode in January 26, and we will talk about, as we mentioned already a bit, phase 13 and our 5G NR devices and series. So I think 5G is definitely a very interesting topic, how our NR devices can add value to that, how you get them integrated into Nebula, all that will be then covered. And if you are confused by all the portals that we mentioned, we have here an overview again. As a Zyxel partner, you will have access to the partner portal and then the knowledge-based content, the virtual lab, which we showed earlier, you can find on support.zyxel.eu. And if you missed an episode of the TECHtalk, or if you want to do a training in the Campus Academy, we have academy.zyxel.eu. Right, and if you would like to try a new device and you don't know how it really works, but you haven't started working with that device so far, we invite you to purchase one of our configuration services. There you can try new devices. Maybe you have done wireless very successful with Zyxel so far, and you'd like to know after this TECHtalk, look into firewalls, device insight, and all the things that we shared with you. Definitely we'll help you with that, and we can configure it together with you. You can learn how it works and then go from there.
And because of we forgot to mention one important website recently, I just show you the threatintelligence.zyxel.com. So here you can check for all of our different UTM services, which signature IDs are available for which security attacks. And you just see for the IDP tool, if you type in log4j, so the current security issue which is ongoing, we are protected here since December 8, that we have signatures available for your devices. So your network should be protected by this, and we as Zyxel are not affected by this security issue. So we hope this is a good information for all of you, that you don't need to think if that makes some trouble in your network.
And I think this page also gives a lot of transparency. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
If you want to follow us on LinkedIn or YouTube, we do create a lot of videos, unboxing videos, configuration services, how things are working, how networks should be set up, which VPN type I should use. All that is available also on YouTube. So if you want to go there. Yes, and I think that's it for today, Tobias. I think we have
very much.
Covered the topic very well. If you have still questions, please don't hesitate to contact our support via the support portal. And yeah, I guess we will not see us this year anymore. So wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope to see you next year again. Thank you, Tobias.
Thank you, Carsten.
Thanks.